learning about faith has helped me to be able to overcome a lot of obstacles that have happened in my life. Examples like overcoming grudges that I had, overcoming insecurities and fears. My life today in general is doing pretty well. I have been able to succeed in my finances. I'm currently working as a senior project manager. I'm getting ready to get married. In my family, everybody is doing well. All around, I am doing well in my life. It's been over 7 years since I've been able to overcome a lot of things that have led to my life being stable the way it is right now. Since learning about faith has helped me to be able to overcome a lot of obstacles and not allowing situations to affect me when they arise. Before I came to the Universal Church, I had experienced a lot of things in my childhood. Unfortunately, my parents had to separate whilst I was very young. And so I got exposed to a lot of things that were happening in the household at that time and having to live away from my dad. And as a consequence of that, from a financial perspective, it meant my mom had to work a lot harder. So navigating through that sort of experience meant that I found myself trying to accommodate for what was lacking at home. And I think that's where a lot of lying came across from my side. So before coming to the Universal Church, I was very insecure, not very confident within myself. And that led me to accepting a lot of things, friendships that were not good for me, relationships that were not good for me. I was going out a lot to try and fill the void, the emptiness that I had, and the sort of anger that I had towards my parents, because I always used to think that it was unfair that they had to separate and the rest of the friends that I had both their parents together. I came to the UK from Zambia whilst my parents had been separated. There was a bit of a difficulty in adjusting to the new culture, the new environment here. And when I came here to try and fit in with this new culture, new friends, I would do everything to try and fit in with the friends that I was making. Sometimes caused a lot of difficulties with my relationship at home because I would rebel. Sometimes I would sneak out of the house when I became a teenager. Those were kind of like the consequences of everything that happened in my childhood. To be universal for me, it means to overcome, to be a person of faith, to understand that the word of God is where I have to stand. When I came to the Universal Church, there was something called a chain of prayer. At that time, I was in university, so I would come on Mondays to fight for my finances from the perspective of my studies, because I hadn't done really well in my A-levels prior to that. So that was the first point of me using my faith to see that when I obeyed the word of God, I was able to start seeing results in my studies. I started getting better grades than everybody else. That was one of the tools that I used to learn about faith through the chain of prayer. And that gave me the strength to be able to stop doing the things that didn't please him. And those insecurities, the desire to lie, the desire to please people left, and I was able to be myself. I started to see the results of my faith after a while, because it took me a long time to put the things that I was learning into practice. It was about over a year that I started to see the results of my faith, when I started being committed to the purposes that I was taking part in, and that's when I saw the power of God in my life. Being part of the Universal Church, been able to overcome a lot. I have been able to change my life completely. As a result of that, I see myself wanting to help other people to receive the same peace that I have now, the same joy. It's such a privilege, it's such an honor that God has given me this opportunity to be here, to have the understanding of faith that I have. I love to be available on the weekends to go out and speak to people about what I've experienced and what God has done in my life. When I compare my life to how it is now, before I was failing in school, there was really no ambition for me to be able to see results from my financial life. Because of the insecurities that I had, I found myself spending a lot of time with men or guys that had nothing, that were not able to help me in any particular way. And now looking at my life, I have been able to complete my degree in chemistry, got a master's in enterprise. My career has now been built. I'm now somebody who's considered an expert in my field, that I'm able to even manage other people. So my life has done a full 180 since I came to the Universal Church. I have no regrets at all. I found life, I found the joy, the peace that I have inside of me, and seeing the power of God continue to work in my life. So I am very, very happy.